Alright everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So unfortunately, I somehow did not realize that there was a new Spy Family chapter today. So unfortunately, I got spoiled on something in this chapter. I don't know if this was like a meme that someone was doing, which I kind of hoping, suspecting it is. But yeah, unfortunately I got spoiled on that. But yeah, I didn't realize there was a new chapter today, but let's get around to reacting to it. Because I just finished recording the ones for Akane Banashi and doing my weekly read through. Yeah, kind of a little bit disappointed I got spoiled on that, but new chapter. Yeah, let's get around to it, I guess. Sorry, I was just going to say something else. So, mind channel update stuff before we get into it. So, like I mentioned, my Akane Banashi and read through videos for this weekend. I'll probably be taking a small hiatus in the channel, at least for the rest of March and April. So, I'll be looking to get back into it the May long weekend. Or not the May long weekend, May the 4th, that weekend when it comes up, I'll look back to getting into read-throughs and stuff. I will try to still get around Shonen Jump stuff if I can in the interim. But yeah, just because it tends to be the busy season for me right now, I don't want to kind of burn myself out like I've tended to in the past. So hopefully being able to take breaks, recharge will kind of help balance that a little bit. But yeah, a lot of good content is coming your way this weekend before that hiatus. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned in the past, it really does mean a lot to me to see that kind of support for the work I put into these videos. So if you'd like to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Without further ado, let's dive into a Spy Family Mission 96 by Tetsuya Endo, with translation by Casey Lowe and lettering by JB. Is that a new letter they have for Spy Family? But yeah, we'll pick up where we left off last time with Damian's two flunkies going, "You will now compete against each other." Oh, Christ. "You will now compete against each other in a series of challenges." And he's like, "Hey, who put you guys in charge of this? Answer me!" It's like, "Only the last competitor standing will receive the right to dance with Damian." And you have a fierce battle in which their feminine pride is at stake. And you see Anya just like tipsy eyes with like, wobble wobble. And she has like all the negative energy. I assume that's just like all the negative like thoughts and energies just like Fritz in her brain. And Becky's like, "You can't let them intimidate you, Anya. You can do this." And then Bowl Cut is like, "Step one is to call the weakest competitors." It's like, hence the first challenge, the clapping scarecrow endurance battle. It's like, dancing requires balance and rhythm. Before we judge your worthiness, you must prove that you possess a sufficient level of both. Once the whistle blows, you'll stand on one foot and clap along to the rhythm. If you lose your balance and touch the floor, you're out. If your clapping is off rhythm, you're out. We'll do this until half of you are eliminated. Becky's like, "That sounds pretty tough. Good luck, Anya." It's like, "Okie doke." And you see Lloyd Waiter being like, "Pardon me, madam, but there's some lint on your dress." I'm sorry. Did he just fucking... Did he just tie her up with strings and like manipulate her like a marionette? He just walks up with a knife. He'll, "Excuse me." And Anya's like, "Hey, Papa." It's like, "That waiter's quite the gentleman. He's handsome, too." And you see Clint and you see like this little like invisible wire trailing off Anya's wrist. It's like, "Let the endurance battle begin. On one foot, ladies." And you see them just like standing on one foot and starting to clap. And you have, "What is going on, Mr. Henderson?" It's like, "To be perfectly honest, I have no idea. The children are exercising their own initiative in order to achieve something. And I find that most elegant." And you have an eep and a slip as someone puts their foot down. It's like, "Number 20 is out." It's like, "No, this isn't fair." It's like, "Wow, they're dropping like flies." Like, "Number 8's out." It's like, "And Anya is," and you see her just like furiously like clapping with like one leg sticking straight out. It's like, "Incredible. She's not wavering in the slightest, and with such a difficult pose." And you see she's got like this little loop of string tied around her leg, around her hands, one attached to her back. And you see Lloyd just like flexing his fingers as he's got like his marionette skills working. He's like, "We will win this. We'll do whatever it takes." It's like, "Papa's so determined." It's like, "She's good." It's like, even Anya probably believes she's staying up with her own strength. It's like, "You're doing great, Anya. Like, this is so easy. Check it out." She's doing like, like leaning forward and clapping, like leaning backwards and doing like all these poses. He's like, "Oh wow." Yeah, it's like, "Anya, that's amazing." And poor Lloyd is holding up a tray and trying to like flex his fingers and try to move all these things. Going, "That little fool." It's like, "God, one more to go." It's like, "Number 6 is out, and now we're done." Java, "God, It's like, Anya, you did it. It's like, easy as pies. It's like the strings snap off. And you see Lloyd's arm just like limply flopping to his side with losing all function of my left hand is a small price to pay for world peace. It's like, huh? How did she make the cut? It's like, that was unexpected. What do we do, Damian? It's like, what do you mean? It's like, we do this fair and square. If she's in it, then she's in it. You're not worried that wretched little shrimp might actually win. Don't tell me you actually want to dance with her. It's like, of course I don't want that, you idiot, baka. It's like, I don't want to dance with the... It's like, the 10 remaining contestants will now begin the second challenge. It's like, dancing with elegance and grace requires great flexibility. And so it's like, what are we doing? It's like, what? You haven't come up with anything? It's like an obstacle course. It's like, for testing flexibility? It's like, there will be hurdles and traps to traverse to ensure that only the most agile among you excel. And Lloyd's like, what bad luck. I won't be able to use wires to pull her through this one. They'd get tangled in the trap zone. I'd hate to do it, but sabotaging her opponents may be the only way. Yeah, the 5 fastest finishers will advance to the next round. Now show us how graceful you are. Ready, set, go! And you see Gaz one trips. It's like, it's so hard to run in high heels in a dress. And you see Anya with a kick, and a kick kicks off her shoes and goes off running. It's like, how are we supposed to get across? It's like, I don't want to seem unladylike in Damian's presence. And you see Anya trying to jump over, both her feet snag the rope, and she just falls face flat with a thump and a splat, and she just keeps running with a thump, 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 thump. It's like, I won't let her beat me. It's like, welcome to the trap zone. Slip through our cobwebs of rope like a nimble spy would. It's like, my tiara got caught in a rope. It's like the hem of my dress got caught. And you see... Oh god, you see her, she's like strange, she's making like this weird face with like her face just pushing against all these ropes, and like pieces of her clothes are like getting torn off, like all the ruffles are getting torn off her dress. It's like, don't rely on brute force, it's tearing the flappy bits off your dress and your face on your face! And you see her with a whoosh as she gets through the trap. And Lloyd's like, she's in 6th, do I need to interfere after all? It's like, go Anya! It's like, the final phase is the inchworm crawl. Get into your sleeping bag and crawl to the goal. It's like, oh, it's like, what does this have to do with flexibility? It's like, what's more flexible than an inchworm? It's like, Anya's usually so sluggish, I don't know if she can do this. And you see her just taking off like a bat out of hell. It's like, oh my gosh, it's her secret talent. She excels at weird movements. It's like, in 3rd place, of course she's number 13. Number 13, he's like, I did it! It's like, this whole thing is stupid. That girl doesn't have an ounce of grace in her body. And she's like, to the victor go the spools. It's like, Anya earned that win. And you see one of the ladies being like, I'll sew your tippets back on, dear. It's like, thank you, Miss Pins. Oh, fucking Christ. It's like, for the 5 remaining competitors, we have one final challenge. To determine you're worthy to be Damian's dance partner, you must win at the ultimate Damian quiz. And he's just like, just do what you want. He's like, as the name implies, the first to correctly answer 5 questions about the boss man wins. Answer quickly, but mistakes will be penalized. It's like, that should seal it. No one is beating me in an information war. If I can just find some way to communicate the answers to Anya. It's like, first question, at breakfast today, what did Damian reach for first? Lloyd's just like, how the heck am I supposed to know that? I was like, does he have a strict daily routine? Or is this quiz not a test of knowledge, but one about surmising Damian's feelings? Either way, only his dorm mates would know what he was served, giving them the advantage here. Curse my negligence in not taking measures to review the menus on a daily basis. A sloppy mistake, Twilight. And you have one being with the, salad. It's like, wrong. That means you skip the next question. It's like, onion soup. Wrong. A sandwich. Wrong. It's like, but I commute to school. I don't know what's on the menu. Can I get a hint? I'm just trying to read Damian's mind with things like, what did I eat first today? I can't remember. You know, and he's like, it's like, I didn't say food, it's a drink. He's like, oh? It's like, the Mothman's so concerned about growing tall that he always drinks lots of it. And Anya's like, ding, is it milk? Like, that's correct. And Jeff, oh, like second question. The Desmond Group consists of how many different companies? It's like there are 112. There are 112. However, there are an additional 13 ghost companies that only exist as legal entities. If you add those, it's like it's 112. It's like correct. Question 3. What happened to Damian when he was 4 that made him fear he might die? It's like he fell down the stairs. Wrong. It's like he almost drowned in the ocean. Close, but not quite. It's like, once again my research has fallen short. I should have been recruiting children into my intelligence network to gather and tell about their fears. And Anya's like, his dog suddenly jumped on and knocked him into the pond in his yard. Like, that's correct. He's like, how could you possibly know that? She's like, lucky guess? He's like, I need to do better at hiding my mind reading abilities. Like, question 4. Damian's height is? It's like, he's 110 centimeters tall. It's like, ding. Boozed is like, the question is, Damian's height is equal to which of his classmates? It's like, how's this question even about Damian? And then Anya was like, bend your poop fee face goofalo? It's like, there is no such person. It's like, after that, Anya started intentionally missing some questions so the match would seem closer. And you see the one in first is the one at the far right corner, or I suppose far left, with 4 points. And Anya's also got 4 points. One in the middle's got 3. It's like, victory was soon within her grasp. Like, question 14. It's like, it's not over? The dance is supposed to have begun already. It's like, which person does Damian love best? And they're like, what? He's like, huh? It's like, me. So I'm just like buzzing with a me. It's like Yoda from Malcolm Hall. It's like a Serena from Rose Hall. And you see Anya with just like this looks beautiful. It looks like Scion Boy loves his papa. Like, what a disaster. With 5 correct answers, the winner is Anya Forger. It's like, that was amazing, Anya, yay! It's like, what the heck? Why her? I don't accept this. It's like, this whole competition was your idea. It's like, do-over. I call it do-over. It's like, yeah, let's do it over. And Damian's like, what did I just tell you? She won it fair and square. And he's just like, I'll dance with her, acting all tsundere. It's like, because now I have to, not like I want to, baka. I was like, boss man, this is crazy. You don't need to do this. It's like, send us a signal if you feel like you're going to barf and I'll run up with a bucket. It's like, hey, that's so rude. It's like, dance with us too, Damian, even if it is after her. It's like, I'm sorry, Damian. This man, Lloyd's like, I'm sorry, Damian. This may not have been as fair and square as you think, but please do get closer to Anya. And then you see Martha being like, I knew it. And she's like, this does bring back memories. And Anderson's like, may I have one dance for old time's sake? Right. And you see both Anya and Damian with just like these red, like scared, frightened faces dancing. It's like, the boss man is dripping with cold sweat. Is he okay? Should we throw in the towel and admit defeat? It's like, this hurts to watch. It's like, shut up, I'm not sweating, I'm totally fine. It's like, Anya, you're looking a little pale, are you okay? She's like, I don't think I am. And he says, stomp, she steps on his foot. Like, yow! It's like, hey, don't step on my foot. It's like, I didn't mean to. It's like, if I didn't mean to assault anything, then we would need cops. It's like, just shut up and dance. And he's like, no, you shut up. It's like, is it gonna backfire? Was making them dance a gross miscalculation? They're only getting more hostile. What do I do? What do I do? And you have Martha and Henderson nearby just like dancing all beautifully. Like, the dance floor is a place for elegance, you two. Your patched imperial scholars seem to be long ones indeed. And then Martha's like, huh? It's like, irk. It's like, he's right. I need to get a hold of myself. It's not like we've never held hands before. It's not a big deal. It's like, let's do this right. It's like, okie doke. And you see as they're like struggling, still like dancing with like clasped hands. And you see as Lloyd's going back to his waiter practice, like, see, if you actually try, you can do this. Not well, but still. It's like, Papa made me practice with him a lot. It's like, that man I met, he did seem like a passionate guy. It's like, he's very passionate about his mission. It's like, I was taught by a dance instructor that my family hired. It's like, your family sounds nice. Like, Scion Boy. It's like, not, you're so poor you have to learn from your parents. I learned from a pro, I totally win. It's like, how would you know about my dog in the pond anyway? What, did you read my mind or something? Christ. Yes, this was the big double face where I got the foil on. It was on just like complete sincerity going, yes, I can read people's minds. And Damian's just like shocked before he's like, yeah, as if I believe that, you dummy. You watch too many cartoons. It's like, you're the dummy. It's like, what? But you guys finally seem to be dancing so nicely. He's like, oh, well, I guess it's still progress. And I got back to squabbling. And Henderson's like, Yeah, Anya and Damian friendship level 100. So, man, I don't know how I feel about this chapter. Because on the one hand, it kind of has like the gimmicks and stuff you're used to with like Lloyd having to like come up with like creative ways to help out Anya with him trying to like literally pilot her like a little marionette. So that was really amusing with her then like using that to flex, be like, look at all the cool poses I can do. She's just like posing for the thing and making Lloyd have to work super hard to kind of maintain the illusion. So that was really funny. But I feel like the problem with chapters like these is it takes like a bunch of little gags and it kind of just drags them out way too much. Where it's the thing of like, all right, what kind of ridiculous like contests and things can the kids come up with? And it kind of just drags it out so much. It kind of just like goes from being like amusing to like, all right, can we get it along with this? Like, can we move this along a little bit? So that where we have the stuff with like, all right, yeah, Anya's a klutz, like, haha, look, she's not being elegant, all that. It's kind of like, all right, it's kind of like a one-trick joke that really kind of you can only get so much mileage out of it before it starts to wear thin. But again, like the biggest laughs always come from the facial expression, which I will say is something Endo-san really, really excels at. Is just these wild ass facial expressions they have the characters do. So that was really, really solid. Apart from that, like the whole Jeopardy quiz thing was like again like gimmick that got old very, very quickly. Apart from that, I feel like the problem, because last chapter I was just like, all right, this is being dragged out a little bit too much with how it's playing out. And I feel like the problem is, apart from it being dragged out, it kind of focused on entirely the wrong things. Like, I'd much rather you have just a quick montage of like all these ridiculous ass contests and things that they're doing to be like, oh, who's gonna have with Damian? Like, just run through that quicker, so you could have actual more moments where like she and Damian are dancing and are actually feeling like they're getting closer. Because the problem is towards the back half, you kind of have this rush moment where he's like, Damian's like, oh, your family seems really nice, and he's like playing all tsundere and trying not to be like nice to her and everything, and she just kind of blurts out like, oh, I can read people's minds. Like, it just feels like that came out of nowhere. It didn't feel like she's kind of like blown away by his kindness, or felt the same way where she starts developing a crush on him in the same way that he has on her. That's what accidentally causes her to blurt it out. And the fact that she has like a non-reaction after that as well, to be like, oh shit, I let my secret slip. Like, up to this point she's been holding back the secret for so long, and it just let it slip so casually. It just feels like it came out of left field. It's supposed to be like a shocking moment that doesn't really land. And like, I knew at the beginning, as soon as I saw that and I read this, before I even started reading this chapter, I'm like, alright, it's obviously going to end with Damian doing like, oh, of course I'm not going to believe, it's so outlandish, like, why would I buy that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm curious as to like what Endo-san exactly is setting up with that, because it's obviously going to have to be relevant to something. So I don't know if he's going to make like an offhand comment to this about this to his father, and his father's going to be like, oh, this takes me back to that project I was doing about reading people's minds. Or if it's going to be like or as I think a lot of us have been speculating, it's going to turn out, was it Auswallen, whatever the hell his name was, is going to be his grandfather or something, or at least Melinda's grandfather. But yeah, again, like, I wish Endo-san would focus more on the important stuff rather than kind of on the filler, so to speak, in these chapters. Because yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, like, Anya just like blurting out her secret like that in this like epic big double page spread, I don't feel like it had the impact it was supposed to. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess I'll have to wait to see what the next chapter does with it. Apart from that, I'm not super invested in like the Damian Anya romance. Like, at certain points, it's like, all right, haha, yeah, it's really adorable. Like, little kids figuring out their feelings. But apart from that, I'm like, I'd just rather see like a focus on friendship rather than like little kid crushes, things like that. So it kind of just doesn't do a lot for me when these chapters have where like you're focusing on like, oh my god, they're getting closer, are they crushing on each other stuff? It's like, alright, whatever it is, what it is. With all that said, I hope you all did enjoy this video, even though I did got spoiled on that bit. Like I mentioned at the start, I will be on a hiatus, but I will hopefully be back in May, better and stronger than ever. So look forward to that. And until next time, whoops, sorry there. Till next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.